Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the penultimate round of the MSR GT1 2005 League. We are back stateside for round number 6 here at Fontana. My name is King-Kodiak. I'll be one of your commentators throughout tonight's festivities. Glad to have you all along for the ride. Once again at my side and ready to do his rolling R trick because he knows I can't do it, is Martin. Welcome back, Martin.
Greetings.
Every time, can't do it. So, well, we're looking at a damaged Fennec. I think that was decent because we actually were on board with him when he did that and his car did not flinch. So, not convinced that it's actual damage, but this is practice anyway, so that is a bit of a moot point. So then, what are our thoughts towards this slightly unusual circuit, Martin?
Well, it's kind of a commemorative race, really, considering that this track does not exist anymore, at least 95% of it.
Mm-hmm. That is very true.
It's definitely a track not beloved by so many. Some people like to poke jokes at the layout of the track, which it's pretty obvious what it looks like. Not that I'm going to specify that on stream, but I will say, even though it's not the most popular track, it's still better than some Cleveland. But no, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Some cars struggling a lot around here with low revs, particularly. Other cars like the Aston seem to be doing quite well, especially in the oval section. So I think we will be seeing some very high-speed overtakes tonight.
Yes, I think so as well. We've got 19 drivers that have come to us, ready to do battle. A lot of people getting out there and getting on with it. 15 minutes of qualifying. Glad to see several people already with us in chat. Gallant Star Fox, hello to you. Andrew, who is out there on track. You ever crown a witch in Left 4 Dead? No, who I used to play Left 4 Dead with was always one for startling the witch because, yes, he was, and he would also shoot the car alarms. He drove me mad doing that. Mel is with us. Hello, video gamer guy. I forgot it was Monday. How the hell do you forget it's Monday? What is wrong with you? Good to see you, VGG.
An extended weekend.
Good to see you, VGG. Good to see you. We are very well. Thank you for asking, Galax. It looks like it's going to be an Aston Fest out there. If I bring up the championship standings again, Ultimate Kaiser nearly fully secured the championship with his constant run of podiums. And he was also quickest in practice in the Lemon Aston Martin. He's on 141. Matt, our victor last time out, in second on 117. Ricky, third on 112. Gillish, our opening round winner, in fourth on 93. And Wild Mammoth rounding out the top 5 with 78. Really close throughout the rest of the field. The A-Kip all going to oversteer is our Lemon Aston Martins. They are pretty much untouchable. What on earth is going on with Mammoth? I know exactly what he's done. He's gone miles past turn 1. Up, and Exodus is doing exactly the same thing in the Falcon Lambo. Many times I have done the same thing. Just fly off the road. Basically, it's where the tarmac gets very slightly darker. That's the only reference point you've got. And it is very easy to miss.
It's an interesting tactic what you saw him doing there just now is you miss turn 1 and then you make it look like you're going to do an unsafe rejoin and spook your opponent into missing your own apex.
Or you just carry on and rejoin the oval and try again. No, you can't do that. So riding on board then with the Star Wars Aston Martin of Wild Mammoth, we are coming down towards turn 11 and 12. As Martin said, this circuit is no longer in existence. Apparently it's 90% gone. Warehouses is what's replaced it.
And some rumors about a half-mile oval being installed as well.
That's probably just the car part. And yeah, the tire barriers are all made out of concrete. You hit them and you will stop, and your car will not thank you for it.
Yeah, if there's any PC2 veterans among us, imagine the concrete hay bales from that game, but even worse because they don't move.
No, indeed, they don't.
So first lap starting to come in now. It's 27.1 on provisional pole, but we know they can go quite a bit faster than that.
Well, that's still a very impressive lap time. Now, I know what I set during my practice laps earlier on, and only one driver was fallen foul of that, but in fairness, they were quite a way off the rest of the field, so it wasn't a representative lap from them. I won't name and shame in this session, but we are watching Ultimate Kaiser, our champion-elect for this season, has yet to finish off the podium in the entire season. He took the win.
Ooh, trying to curse it tonight.
No, just stating what. Martin is already ready with the notes to take down our commentator curses. But yeah, 27.1 is still a very, very fast lap time, and he's already where he was improving on it. Certainly on this sector one. His teammate there, Matt, in third with the 27.8, but with a fair amount of traffic with one of the Scuderia Maseratis, and that's not Fennec. Who's in the? I've forgotten who's in the white Corvette. I think that might. No, it's not going to be Cuckoo, is it? That's a cream.
White Corvette should be Jedlin.
Oh, it's Jedlin. Yes, of course it is. Oh, I know. Oops, and that is very easy to do, and you will lose a. Oh, and the Maserati followed him. It's so Matt. It's really easy to do that, and it is one of the most awkward braking zones. Turn 7 to turn 8. You're trying to brake and turn at the same time. This is very reminiscent of one of my crazy races, which, yeah, Galax and Video Gamer Guy have both been willing victims to many times over. It feels like everyone flying off the road feels like one of my races, but is not the case. There is Warlord, yet to get time on the board in the JPS coloured Maserati.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly see if I can get a season tally of commentators' curses so far, just to see how cursed we've actually made this league.
Have you written down who has caused the curse, or whether it's you or me? Or
no,
just...
I've only written down who was cursed in each case.
Okay.
So that's it'll give us a tally by season's end who the most cursed driver is, but not which one of us is most responsible. Anyone who wants to find that out has to do their proper research by watching every stream,
which you are perfectly welcome to do. They are all available on this here channel. As we continue to watch Warlord, then coming through the last few turns. I mean, it is on the map. It's written as 16, 17, 18. That finding the apex is a bit of a task, and that is fourth with a 27.6 on the board. Very nicely done indeed. Gillish, our opening round winner. He's 27.4. Oh, he's getting some heat in the tyres, which. Yeah, they do start absolutely stone cold in these cars. Not all cars do. Sometimes the tyres do have a bit of a heat when you leave the pit lane. Also, a point of note, on the pit lane exit, the drivers have been instructed... Oh, Christ, Gillish, that's close. When leaving the pit lane, everyone is instructed to stay under the banking. So if we look to the left, that is where the pit lane comes out. What the organisers didn't want is for people at pit lane exit speed to come straight onto the banking. So the drivers have been instructed to stay low until near the end of the banking of turn 1.
Yeah, that's quite a lengthy period of time that they have to stay out of the way. As you can see, someone again missing turn 1. Now, I just want to maybe correct something I said a moment ago. Was I just delusional in thinking that people were setting 126s in practice, or was that actually 127?
I think it was 127s. That was the common time in practice, but being that Kaiser's opening time was a 27.1, 26s doesn't seem impossible.
Yeah, I mean, if 27s was the time bracket we were looking at in practice, then that is already an immediate 0.3 improvement right from the get-go from Kaiser. So he was clearly holding back some pace in practice. Nobody else quite able to match him. Looks like he's done his homework for these final 2 rounds. He's not resting on his laurels despite the pretty significant number of podiums and points, and oh my word,
there we go.
I don't think I've ever seen a car get demolished that badly in the final corner.
Which one of the Anime Astons was that? Was that Ricky, or
it would have been? He's in the pits.
Yeah, so, and that is exactly what I was coming on to say. to maximize your exit speed from turn 18, you have got to shave those tyres. And you're on the gas all the way round to the braking zone of turn 3, which is where we've seen several cars fly off the road. So you want to get as close as you can to those tyres, and that is going to happen. And if that happens in the opening lap, that's going to be the biggest pile-up of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, we have said it's been quite some time since we've had a proper pile-up. Of course, that's not exactly what we're aiming for pile-ups, but definitely always gives us something to talk about, that's for sure. Now, we do have Mats now with a new provisional P2 2/10 off of his teammate. Andrew still in a pretty strong position, as he was in practice, not looking to be the P8 merchant tonight. JD outperforming his teammate for, well, I'm not sure if that's the first time this season, but it's definitely a bit of a surprise. Oh, and I do have the commentator's curse tally so far this season. We have managed to dish out 20 curses over the course of 5 rounds.
That's quite low, I think.
Yeah, I think the record that Nismo and I had in the past leagues was, it was either a high 30 or a low 40.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a very, very cursed season indeed. But looks like some of our main competitors now in the pits. Kay's still out there setting his hot laps. Let's go on board with him.
On board with our current pole sitter. Still the 27.1 his pole time set. Braking zone for turn 3. The Aston was the one that was the car that wanted to kill me at every opportunity, and we know that Kayser loves to run very minimal downforce. Down through the gears again for turn 5. There's double apex left-hander, and those that manage to control the slide, as we've just witnessed Kayser do, will be the ones that get the best lap times out of the car. That is Andrew. The question mark Dodge up into 3rd. And
interestingly enough as well, we do have Fennec and Barron separated by just 10 milliseconds, so pretty much nothing between those two.
Video Gamer Guy asking, what settings does the lobby run? Track temp, surface, evolution, etc. That is a fabulous question that I don't have an immediate answer to.
I think I can find the answer in the spreadsheet if I can pull that up fast enough.
We will come back to you on that one, good sir. One thing I do remember is it's full damage, but medium scale. That's one setting I do remember. Dynamic object collision is off, though the road cones can survive, which is very important here, considering some of the turns. I mean, particularly here as we're watching Bern coming through turns 16, 17, well, 15, 16, 17, and then onto the banking at 18. Those cones become very, very valuable indeed.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of cones die in the line of fire as well. I do wonder though, is that a client side thing nowadays, or can we actually still see them fly into the atmosphere?
Well, we won't, because dynamic object collision is off. If it were not disabled, then yes, we would see them fly into orbit. I'm 90% sure, but yeah, not something we have. Oh, we have our first 26 on the board. Kayser has done a 26.9, and Andrew up into second with a 27 flat. And good lord, Kayser is up another couple of tenths. Now, Slipstream is going to be everyone's best friend here, not just in the over section. We just saw Kayser get a big old slipstream from the back of the Lamborghini. Oh, it was hugging that inside line, and stays very low in the oval to get as much as he can towards the line. And 26.6 for Kayser, the only man anywhere near that kind of time. 4 tenths to the good.
No one's beating that. Kayser's on pole tonight, done and dusted.
Wow, he's meaning to secure the title in style if he can keep that up. As we see his closest challenger of Andrew, he's flirting with the cones on the outside line.
Okay, I'm almost there for the lobby data, by the way. I have to press the world's smallest little button on my touchscreen here. It's absolutely insane, this interface.
And yeah, a couple of tenths down for Andrew. He's called that one. And he will not be improving If he jumps back into the pit and gets straight back on with it, he might have a chance to set another lap time, but it doesn't look like he's going to. He may well be opting to sit with that. Still plenty of people circulating as we look at Matt's then in third position. The second Lemon Aston, beg your pardon. That is coming through turn. That's the long left-hander of turn 5. Why that's only a single turn number, I do not know. But 6, 7, and then the awkward breaker zone of turn 8. Oh, Fennec! He manages to stay out of the way, but that could well have disrupted Matt's a little bit. What's the split time for? It's a couple of tenths down. Not 100% sure that was entirely caused by Fennec. It certainly wouldn't have helped. There is Gillish in the Martini Maserati into turn 8 himself. It feels so clumsy getting the car down. Yep, he's bailed on that lap. So he
also, the most relevant data I could find to answer the question, by the way, is that we do have tire wear set to ×3 and fuel usage is ×2. So that'll definitely mean that people will want to potentially look at tires in the pits. I did hear some drivers complaining about tires this race specifically, actually. So that's going to be an extra variable in the pit stops at the very least.
Thank you, Kenzie, for that lovely comment there. Best commentary team, good luck tonight. Yes, thank you kindly. As we ride on board with the Falcon Corvette of Bullet Sam. 3 tenths up. That will... Well, that's a good couple, yeah, good few positions there. You are welcome, VGG. Your company is welcome here as well. Qualifying is done. So, Kaiser is out there, though. So, he's not resting on his laurels. A lot of people are not out there, though. Actually, it's not showing me who's back in the pits. So, Kaiser...
Yeah, we have to rely on the track map at the moment.
Improvement for Bullets and improvement in time, but not position. So, Kaiser has the top spot still. Gillish is out there. He's caught up behind Bernd at the moment. The 2 Maseratis just coming through turn 5. There's going to be a lot of counter steering going on in this race.
Using every little bit of the track so far as well. Avoiding these curbs, though.
Yeah. You unsettle the car here, you're not catching it. Oh, and that's still put Gillish quite some way off the apex, though, at turn 8.
But now the slipstream will be getting is pretty tremendous. Will he be able to push it on the brakes as well?
I think he lost too much time for that slipstream to really be a factor for Gillish. Into 11, 12. And Bernd gets out of the way.
Interesting, we didn't get a delta time there in that sector.
No, we didn't. Oh, and that's almost certainly invalidated the lap for Gillish, unless it's already invalid, which might be why we didn't get a delta time. I'm pretty sure if you wander out,
lap.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wander that far wide at turn 16, then it is job down. There we go. Right then, so it is Kaiser and Andrew on the front row, Aston Martin and Dodge, and then it is Mats and Gillish, Aston and our lead Maserati on row 2. Warlord and Eddie have row 3 all to themselves, and Maserati row 3. And then it's Aston's on row 4 of JD and Ricky. Row 5 is Xevious and Exus, our X's, Dodge and Lamborghini. Then Mammoth and Bernd have row 6 in the Aston and Maserati respectively. Escher, we didn't really see Escher, did we? Good to see Escher is with us. He was injured at the beginning part of the season, but it's good to see he is with us. So Jedlin saying it's a wheelbarrow with a flat tyre. He's referring to the Corvette.
If you look at the Corvette's positions, I think we had 3 Corvettes in the bottom 4 cars, so it is looking quite dreadful tonight.
The Corvette is not the favourite. I think it's fair to say. Anyway, we got to row 6, so if we could jump to position 12, please, sir. There we go. As we look at Ben, then Escher and Scuderia Condor in the Scuderia Condors, actually, on row 7. And then it is Fennec and Bullet San have row 8 with Trouble and Jedlin on row 9. And Cuckoo at the back. Oh! Now, Cuckoo was around 12th, 13th in practice, so that has definitely not gone well for the Star Wars Corvette. But yes, the Corvette seems to be the car that is most disadvantaged here. I I'm trying to remember, what did I managed to 30.2 in my laps. Again, I do a handful of laps in each car in default trims, so I'm never going to be anywhere on the board. I do tend to joke that if anybody is out qualified by me, that shame on them is what I tend to say. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Was it the?
I think people were staying in the 129s in quali. I'm about 70% sure.
Okay, well, there were a lot of 129s, so it's certainly true. But yeah, 26 from Kaiser, that's a big old statement to be had. But yeah, Slipstream is going to be a huge tool for our competitors. Now, we've been a few, I'm going to risk saying this, we have had a few rounds without a safety car. Again, as a reminder, it's a manual safety car, so it is essentially run by the event organizer. It's not the in-game safety car that comes out on track. It's a manual rolling start, so we will not get going with the lights. Oh, that's a lot of shaking going on in Kaku's car.
Is this an Aston Martin?
Oh, he's found first car.
All right, that's already off to an amazing start. Now, for Kaku, I mean, we know they're really, really good at keeping cars behind, but they're going to need a good start because as things currently stand, there is nobody to keep behind. So definitely only up from here for Kaku. Keza with that commanding quality lead. I mean, 4/10 with this group of aliens is absolutely nothing to scoff at. He's just going to have to stay consistent tonight. We have seen a lot of drivers spin as they push the cars. I think Keza was one of them earlier on in practice, so hopefully he's managed to solve those kinks in the setup.
We did see
he's got Andrew right behind as well. We do know he's a bit of a daring driver sometimes.
We also saw Ricky detonate his car on the concrete tyres at the end of one of his laps, and so it's easily done. It's very, very easily done. So we'll see then who can keep all the horses under control. As a reminder, these cars do not have traction control or ABS, so one tiny mistake, particularly here, is going to be incredibly costly.
Yeah, and another driver that I expect to make up some places as well is Mammoth. He seemed to be struggling quite a bit, but if his earlier season performances are anything to go by, then I think we'll definitely be seeing some action from him. Still can't believe what happened to him in round one.
I don't think he can believe what happened to him in round one either. And he was in podium contention, I think, wasn't he? I think it was towards the sharp end when that happened.
Yes, he was. That was with K's at the time, and I think if everything had gone perfectly, he could have well won that race.
Could well have done. And yeah, Mammoth has seen the podium another 2 times, in third in Hockenheim, third in Virginia, but has yet to repeat that feat. But we'll see what he is able to do this time around, as we are looking from the eyes of Kaku. Coming through 11, 12.
No embarrassing spins in the final sector. That's a good sign.
So then, the 2x2 line is formed. Hello, Julcat. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And the 2x2 line is being formed. No, you're not allowed to do any tyre warming or brake warming, nor should you attempt to, especially not on an oval. So, as they come over the line, then there I thought there was a bit of a stutter then from Kaiser. Well, we are racing then here in Fontana. So, good start from Mats, keeping Gillish at bay. The Aston on the low side of the track. Kaiser under all kinds of pressure, as you would imagine. Oh, that's Ricky. He's got Eddie going underneath him. Now it's going to be the big... Everybody's going to clench and hope that they've remembered the braking zone. Oh, tiny bit of touch there between Matt and Andrew. Oops, that's Gillish, I think, getting a bit too up close and personal with one of the curbs in the Maserati. It looks like everybody has survived the first few turns. It's so far so good.
I am amazed that everyone made it through turns 1, 2, and 3 safely, because there was definitely some contact there. Cars bouncing into the air with very questionable physics, but they all lived to fight the rest of the race. That is a great start.
Great start indeed. So let us see how people else. We look at Xevious in the second. The question mark. Astons gets to the inside line. Oh, and that's Mammoth. Oh, Mammoth has gone off the road in turn 8 along with one of the JPS Maseratis.
That's Berndorf as well. He's followed him off, and that's an overtake for Cuckoo, already up into P16.
The 3 overtakes for Cuckoo in pretty much 2 corners. Well, that's how quickly it can go wrong, especially there at turn 8, but out towards the sharp end. Kaiser, Andrew, Mats, your top 3.
I am adding Mammoth to the curse list because we just said that was a great start to the race for everyone.
Oh, you saw Mats then get the run on the dodge, but Andrew closing the door on the bottom of the oval, and this is how powerful the slipstream is. So Andrew goes for the high line coming through turn 1. Can he get it done through 2? And no, he's kind of had to, I think he's bled out of that one a little bit, but that is how powerful the slipstream is, particularly in the bank section. And Kaiser hangs on to that inside line. Oh, and that's JD that's gone a little bit too deep into turn 1. It looked like he was about to swipe his teammate. Oops, door checks Eddie there in the Martini Maserati. Eddie's going to have the inside line for turn 5. That should be 8th for him, and up he goes. Is he going to go too wide? Can JD come back at him? No, the Anime Aston concedes into 9th.
Yeah, it says, I mean, a lot of people don't like the track, but it's definitely been providing some pretty good action for these first 2 laps. As you can see, Eddie's teammate just ahead going a little wide. And who is that off the track?
Ricky. That's Ricky has gone off the second Anime Aston. Oh, again, and that's not the last time we'll see that mistake happen. You lock up a tiny bit coming through out of turn 7, and you are going to go to the grass, and it takes such a long time to recover from. Here comes Mammoth. There's a look at the inside line of the breakers and down to turn 11. Gets it done, and Ricky concedes that one all the way down to 17th. Back up towards the top.
I just thought there was an extra overtake there, but once again, double slipstream for Matt's behind. I will say, though, for the previous lap, I've never seen such a speed differential in the slipstream lead to no overtakes whatsoever.
Oh, Andrew went a bit higher than he was expecting. He's going to have to hang on to that. The Kaiser's still got the line. He's going to maintain. Was it a mistake or was Ricky pushed? Great question. We couldn't really see. It could have been he was pushed a little bit deeper. Andrew's trying to outbrake the Aston. He's going to have the inside of 2. Oh, sorry, the inside of 4. Bit of a nudge between the 2, and Andrew takes over the lead. Yes, a bit of door checking. He's got a little bit deep coming down into turn 5. Almost takes the nose off of Kaiser, but that is Andrew up into the lead. Matt is ready to take advantage as well.
Yeah, Kaiser probably won't be overly happy with that door check because it was kind of used to complete the overtake, but to be fair, I mean, he was so far ahead after turn 1, I think he could have just thrown it to the apex to block Kaiser from in front, and he would have had the move stick. So Andrew definitely having the pace to lead here, but can he shake off these 2 Astons?
Well, he's going to have to... Oh, and that bullet sand round in the Falcon Corvette. He's going to have to just wait forever. That's down into last for bullets, and Escher is down towards the back as well in the Scuderia Maserati. As we check in with our leaders then coming through onto the banking once again. So 1.5 minute laps. There will be a pit stop in the middle. Here we go. So it's now roles reversed. Kaiser is already forced to the top. No, he gets out of that one. Gets a bit more slipstream. Here comes Matt. Can he do anything about it? Oh, side by side. No! Tiny tap. Well driven from Kaiser and Andrew. That could have gone horribly wrong between the pair of them. Andrew's gone for the high line. Kaiser is trying to get to the inside first. Can he get to the apex? He's going to force Andrew to go deep into turn 3. And then turn 4. That's where they came together again. Still side by side as they come down towards turn 5.
Yeah, he's left a bit more space this time, and that means Kaiser can keep it side by side through the next 2 corners and retakes the lead as well.
Yeah, Andrew saw that one was done, trying to cut back underneath the Lemon Aston, but no room to do so. Good exit though from turn 5. Nowhere to use that extra pace. Matt has got the greatest room. Oh, we've got a spin. That's an impact. We've got 2 cars off of turn 5. Who's that? That's Mammoth again. And Exodus this time. The Falcon car's not having a good day. Oh dear, Mammoth is having a horrible time.
And his wing's off.
Oh dear. What on earth? I mean, there's several things he could have hit, but that is going to be a very... Oh, that's Bullet Sand. I think that Bullet Sand and Mammoth have come together. Bullet Sand's trying to give the position back, not realising there's a significant part of Mammoth's car missing.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's been rear-ended fairly significantly. I don't see too much damage on Bullet Sand's car, so potentially maybe another car involved in that incident as well. But either way, Mammoth's race essentially ruined unless there is a safety car this race. Keza, meanwhile, still in the lead, but for how long?
Here we go again. Andrew stays to the interline. He's not going to be able to make the move. Oh, that's a spin. I would imagine that's Mammoth. Yeah, Mammoth's had a spin coming through 17. Oh, you saw the tail of Keza's car get very lively. Mats is just watching on, biding his time. But Mammoth is now in the pits where he'll be for longer than he would like. And much earlier than would be ideal as well. He's unlikely to be able to get to the end from there.
Yep. Meanwhile, Matt seems to be dropping back ever so slightly from this fight. I wonder if he's just a little bit worried that the two in front of him might come together and that he could end up hitting those if they do.
It's possible. And yeah, these three are not slowing each other up too much. Warlord leads the rest of the pack in fourth as we look at Ricky on the outside line of trouble. That's a bold place to make an overtake at turn 8. It's Dodge versus Aston. Condor's got a good view of that particular battle. This is a battle for 11th position. The Dodge has the inside line for turn 11. Is he going to concede? The Aston is ahead. Yeah, trouble, let that one go. Ricky back up into 11th.
Meanwhile, the fight for the lead continues. This time, Andrew to the outside again.
And again, that's how powerful the slipstream is when you're that close. But is he going to have enough of an overlap to try and wrestle the lead away? No, Keza holds onto that inside line. Mats is there as well to try and capitalise if it does go wrong. Andrew again forced out of the outside line. Can he break deep enough to hang on to the inside line for turn 4? No, he's going to have to concede that, which he does. And because they've fought, there is the rest of the pack. Warlord is bringing everybody else with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit sad for Andrew. He seems to have a very competitive pace, but every time he pulls out of that slipstream, he's just hit by a massive wall of air and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and yeah, because he's just hitting that at a point that is taking so much momentum out of him, he can't get that overlap to stick. Here's Hillish on the back of his teammate Eddie as 6th and 7th. Martini Maseratis are dueling for. That's Fennec right behind. So the rest of the pack are in, fairly good order. The only one that's fallen foul is Mammoth so far. There's Bernd in the second of the JPS Maseratis with Exus in the Lamborghini ahead.
Yeah, also recovering from following, I think it might have actually been Mammoth off the track earlier. So Bernd's definitely not where his pace would put him.
Here we go again.
Top 3 continue to fight. Every single lap, it's the same thing over and over. Will we have a different outcome this time?
Oh, Andrew's gone for the inside line. That's a tiny opening that Keza, a small mistake from the Lemon Aston. He left the door open enough for the Dodge to try and squeeze through, but the momentum with Keza, can he outbrake the question mark Dodge? He does, but is that going to be too deep? Is that going to compromise his exit from turn 4? And Andrew tries to cut back underneath, can't do it. Looks at the apex now for turn 5. Can he get it done? No! Keza, brilliant defensive work. He knew he'd made the mistake and somehow managed to hold on to that position. Brilliant driving from both of them.
Yeah, Keza was so deep into turn 1. I was fairly certain that Andrew's cutback was going to work, but no, that car just does not have enough traction to pull off that kind of move, at least not with Keza driving as quickly as he is. Will Mats be able to capitalize as well, or will he keep on staying behind? The gap behind 2 seconds to P4. Yeah, these three drivers definitely not satisfied just with a podium. They want P1 or P2 at the very least.
Very, very true. And my good lady is in there. Eklifio, my love, I see you. But at the moment, all eyes are Mel cheering on Keza as well. And rightly so. Keza is having an absolute stormer. He's soaking up all the pressure. Here we go again. Andrew in the slipstream. Is he going to go low? Keza learned from last time. Slams the door shut. Forces the question mark Dodge to the top line. But that is going to cost him all the momentum. He can't hang on to it. The Aston has got the pace to just wriggle back ahead of the Dodge. Oh, he's going to try and outbrake Keza into the turn 3 once again. He's managed to nose ahead. Can he get the apex? He's got it done. Andrew manages to wrestle the lead this time from Keza. That was superbly driven. But can he hold it? He wasn't able to hang on to the lead for long. And so, well, he was held onto the lead for the rest of the lap, but then Kaiser reversed the roles last time around. Brilliantly driven. Warlord is still only 2 seconds back from this particular group. My goodness me.
On the one hand, Warlord's probably slightly frustrated that he's not catching them despite all this battling, but on the other hand, he must be enjoying this sight.
Absolutely, and you got to think he's got Xevious right behind him, so Warlord can't only concentrate on ahead. He's got the second question mark dodge in his mirror. It's getting very close to his tail, coming up to the braking zone of turn 11. So the dodge has got to play defensive against that Maserati as well.
Yeah, it's just battles.
Oh,
up and
that's
down
deep,
the field,
that's deep!
He's definitely violated some form of track limits there, murdered a cone or two. I wonder if that will give him a penalty.
Oh, now, interesting. Andrew's got himself 4/10 of a gap coming out of that final turn. Is that going to be enough? He goes for the high line, cuts down to the apex, as you would do in oval racing. So, is this going to deny Kaiser the opportunity to attack at turn 3? It does this time. Well.
I don't think Mats is pushing. I heard those revs. He lifted ever so slightly. I think he's once again saving fuel. We've seen him do it before. He's doing it again.
Yeah, very true. But Kaiser, though, is throwing absolutely everything he can. And Andrew trying to force the mistake, but the dodge is having none of it. And the less these three fight, the more they start to pull away from Warlord, who's got the rest of the world on his shoulders. So that's 3 Maseratis, 4, 5, and 6. I think no, it's 4 Maseratis, isn't it? Well, Warlord, Xevious is the odd one out. He's in the dodge, isn't he? So there's 3 Maseratis in this group. Xevious nearly going deep there, coming out of turn 8, but through 9, through 10. Here comes Xevious. Is he going to try and make the move? Up into turn 11, he commits to the inside line. Can he get the dodge slowed down into turn 11? He does. That is 4th for the second of the question mark dodges.
Hold on. Is Eddie about to get an extra overtake done here? Oh no, the track just tightens up a little too much. But once again, the black Maserati goes too wide. Though it looks like he's still got a decent exit, so stays 5th for now, just behind.
Gillish! And that's the rear wing gone. That's his rear wing gone.
Fennec in the pits.
Oh dear, so impact between Gillish and Fennec then coming out of turns 16 and 17. And that is certainly a wounded Maserati as he's hit the wall backwards. But look at this, Kaiser now 6/10 behind the Dodge. That is a lapsed Mammoth that is in the middle of that. So he would love to be involved in this fight, but his Aston not with ultimate pace at the moment. So he will be jumping out of the way with the rest of the field coming through.
You can just see how much he's sliding with the rears. No wonder his pace is off the... is so far back. It's somehow those top 3 guys, they're able to keep the traction despite pushing the car to its absolute limits. It feels like Mammoth, despite going a lot more slowly, is putting the tires through a lot more. So maybe a bad crucial setup difference there, but he's having a tough time tonight.
Yeah, he very much is. As we jump to Eddie then in the Martini Maserati on the back of Warlord, who has not long been vacated from that 4th position by Xevious. So then, let's see how this particular battle, you would think they would settle into a rhythm by now, but nope, they are pushing for every percent. Now Cuckoo, bearing in mind, Cuckoo started last. She's all the way up into 11th and now challenging. Well, that's not her teammate. That's Fennec's teammate, beg your pardon, in the Dodge. So, and they are trying to close down Ricky, who, bearing in mind, Ricky has had a couple of fastest laps this season, and it's no mean feat. The Anime Aston is on good pace here.
That it is, but Keza once again just staying behind Andrew. I have to think, is Keza deciding to copy his teammate here and stay behind on purpose to save fuel?
That is a very worthy question. We will not know that until they come to pits. Video Gaming Guy just had a quick throw of the car. Which car did you throw around? Did you get a 28.9? Oh!
Hold on, Cook is sitting around the outside of turn 1.
I wonder if Trouble just got a little bit uncomfortable on the brakes there, because he seemed to slow down very suddenly, very early, or he's letting Cuckoo go, conceding that not necessarily his battle, but Cuckoo was not confident about her chances coming through this, so she's having a storming race from the back, and now up into 10th.
Meanwhile, very, very close in the fight for P4. Warlord currently leading it. He's re-overtaking Xevious, but Xevious retaking the position back already.
Yeah, that is the Dodge back up into 4th position. Warlord he didn't try and defend it. He knew the move was coming. And that is Mammoth, we can see. Oh, that's JD that's gone off the road. That's a bit of an unusual place. That's turn 10 where that's gone wrong. So I suspect he was probably on the grass at turn 8, but couldn't quite drop it. It was the Lamborghini you tried. I mean, fair shout, but yes, these are exceedingly fast drivers, VGG. You could still mix it with these guys. I know how quick you are. As we are watching Warlord now in the slipstream, in the tyre tracks of Xevious, trying to get that 4th place. No, he does, he doesn't. He stays, he stays in the tyre tracks of the Dodge for now.
Just a quick shout out to our only Lambo driver this season. Exos currently in 11th.
Sorry, I was just grabbing a drink there because my throat decides to try and cough when it feels like it.
Meanwhile, it seems like Eddie's kind of stuck behind Warlord. He was practically pushing him through the first sector and doesn't really seem to have an answer in the second one. Bullet Sand now in the pits. Is that for damage? That car is looking a bit worse than when we last saw it.
Yeah, it's not been a good day. No, Cookie. No, I can promise you, Galax, Cookie is a good lady. Is our female representative in this field. I got it wrong earlier in the season by referring to Cuckoo as he. So hence why I'm trying to make an effort not to make the mistake again. Looking at our lead 3, then they're broken away. Look at the gap between them and the rest of the field. Now, you may well be right. They may well be settling. The Lemon Astons may well be settling into fuel saving at this point, as we ride on board with Xevious, who's got it in his own block of 3. Xevious, Warlord, and Eddie. So, yeah, the field now starting to fragment as we are over a quarter of the way through the race, and unfortunately, with that. That's Mammoth, who's going to become a bit popular in ways he wouldn't like. But Bullet Sand, that's the second visit for Bullet Sand to the pits, I think. Oh, he's been in there a long time. JD's back in the pits again.
I don't think most of these drivers have come in yet. I think this is their first up. But Kay's out, practically pushing Andrew through the corner. Are those tires starting to give?
Could well be.
14 of 40.
That's very early if that is the case. But there are a lot of braking zones, a lot of traction zones here. So it could well be an absolute tyre muncher. But a lot of these corners are quite slow, so I'm not entirely certain it is. But the banking will certainly be putting the tyres through their paces. Now, again, Andrew wants a good exit from 16-17. Well, you want a good exit from every corner. Riding on board with Mats there. And like you said before, Martin, we've seen the Astons play the fuel game brilliantly well to shorten their pit stop. You see Matt bleeding out the throttle there. Is that going to be costly?
And that saves tires as well, because you're not putting as much stress through them in turn 1.
Yeah, very true. And no challenge to Andrew this time around, but Kayser right once again getting right under the rear wing of the Dodge, keeping the pressure on, trying to force that mistake.
I mean, I hope Andrew has a plan for the fuel, because if it's really that much of a difference, I wouldn't blame him for just pulling behind Mats and Kayser and letting them do all the heavy lifting, because it does seem like an overtake is relatively doable around here as long as you have the slipstream.
Could be. Good point in chat. Maybe they try or calculate for 2 pit stops. It's possible, but we haven't seen it in the rest of the season where people have intentionally done 2. That's too deep. That's too deep for Warlord. So I think he was caught out actually by the slipstream he was getting off of the back of Xevious there, and that put him off the road at turn 8, and that's dropped him miles behind the group that he was previously leading. So that's a great shame for him. And again, that won't be the only time that we see that Mercedes. Jedlin now up into 7th position in the white Corvette.
Well, Jedlin's been here for a while. He's kind of in no man's land, so that just goes to show Warlord only losing 2 positions goes to show how much space there has developed between all these groups now, as I think we just missed something happen here. between Berendt and Escher. I think Escher just moving up into P12 now. All 19 drivers that started this race still on track tonight, so glad to see that there's no retirements as of yet. Meanwhile, the top 3 continue to pull away. Now the gap 8 seconds to Xevious in 4th.
Goodness me, Andrew is just, his eyes must be glued to his mirrors at that stage. Oh, we've got off. That's Escher. Oh, that's a commentator curse to Escher has gone off at 16-17 in the Scuderia Maserati. Yeah, chalk that one up.
I'm writing it down. First number 22 this season.
As through unlapping himself is one of the Martini Maseratis. That's gonna be Gillish, I think. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a rough day for Gillish, but still pressing on. You never know what could happen. He's not giving up the chase, though. Yeah, Kaiser also not giving up the chase, and they are closing in on the back of Condor. So Condor will likely be getting out of the way. But such is Bullet Sand's rough day. He's just been unlapped by, I think it's Fennec. It's Fennec that's right. There's the car directly ahead of him that's just unlapped himself and getting very much out of the way. Condor. He's actually coming to the pit lane, so it's exceedingly out of the way of our lead trio.
Now, I do want to say about this 3-way fight for the lead, especially in the beginning, it was quite exciting, but at this point, they're all just playing 4D chess. They're all really, really close. They're getting within 1 to 2 tenths of each other, but they're not overtaking each other on purpose. So even though this is a really close fight for P1, it's not going to be the most exciting one for the time being, because, they're all just fairly content with where they are, except, of course, when the final lap comes, that's when it's going to be all guns a-blazing. We might see some changes when the pit stops come as well. Oh, Matt, what's happening to him?
Too deep into turn 5. It's, again, momentary lapse of concentration, I would suspect. He was a bit too far back from Kaiser to be gaining a significant amount of slipstream. So that is just, they just took his eye off the ball, very easily done.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be pushing all that much, so either a loss of concentration or the tires starting to give way.
There's Bullet Sand in the Falcon Corvette that is being honed in on by our lead trio.
Ooh, very much off the apex there. That's going to slow him down even more.
Bullet Sand's seen the pit lane a few times. I was mentioning earlier, his race has gone from bad to disastrous. As he's going to be lapped by our leaders again. He's going to be giving Andrew. Yeah, I was going to say he's giving Andrew a huge dose of slipstream here. Condor's still in the pits, so that's got to be damage that's been going on for him. As Bullet Sand's just past him now, and Bullet Sand's staying high on the coming through turn 2. Nicely done.
Now this is interesting. Has Mats lost touch with the top 2, or can he still close that gap?
That's going to be the question. That Bullet Sand should get out of the way of Mats. Now, if Mats is able to close in on the top 2, then we know he's been sandbagging and saving a bit of fuel. But if he can't, then he's been hanging on to the coattails of the top 3. Bullet Sand, stay out there, sunshine.
Now, I will say, if I was the team principal here for Mats and Kaisa's team, I would be telling Kaisa to go ahead and try and overtake Andrew, hold him up a little bit just to get Mats back into the slipstream so he can continue to save fuel and stay in the fight for P1, because as things stand, Mats will have to push a little harder than he might be comfortable with to get within a second. Again, he's currently 1.5 off. It's not been the best exit in the second sector.
Andrew was a little bit deep there coming into turn 8, but managed to get away with that one. Keep Kaiser behind him. Now, I wonder, will Kaiser now start to, exactly as you say, push hard rather than just stay in the tyre tracks of our leader? We will have to see as we ride on board with Xevious then in 5th position on the back of Eddie. That's Access in the Lamborghini looking at the back of Trouble and Cuckoo, that is not Ricky for 8th position. That is the next guy in line. That is Condor, who after an extended pit stop is back on track. There is Ricky in the Aston. And into the pits comes Eddie for what could well be a scheduled pit stop. If that is the case, then he may well be seeing the pits twice, as Julcab is suggesting may well be an option. But that's certainly...
That would be very, very painful indeed, because Xevious continuing on for another lap, presumably is going for the one stop, and this is exactly where Eddie would be if he wasn't in the pits right now. So a very good spot, a lot of points for it. just one round left to go after this, so not too many points still on offer.
Access is also in the Lamborghini as our leaders come roaring and screaming through. Now, Andrew again just going through the motions, keeping Kaiser behind. Oh, that was a spin. There's that bullet sound, I think, has had a spin. It was the Falcon Corvette going backwards into turn 8. Mixture of
very eagle-eyed today, I must say. I have not spotted half of these incidents that I keep on seeing.
I just happened to, just as you changed camera, I saw a flash of Falcon fly off the road. That is trouble under the rear wing of Jetlin.
Ooh, we've just lost someone.
We have had a Mammoth.
Is it Mammoth? Yeah, Mammoth's out of the race.
Our first retirement of the night. Mammoth choosing to park the car. Now, he had made up a couple of positions. We're not sure what's going on here. Trouble having a look on the inside of Jetlin, coming down towards 10-11. Can't get it done, though. But this is a 4-way argument for 7th place. No, sorry, it's a 3-way argument because JD's the odd one out. He's a lap down from the cars directly ahead of him. I mean, he's perfectly entitled to pass them. The general rule
JD already pitted at this point, but that was for damage, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, you are allowed to unlap yourself as long as you do not impede the car you are unlapping yourself from. Here comes JD with a big old helping of slipstream off the back of, that is going to be Cuckoo. He goes high. But
that's off on the outside. That's a tough ask, really, of these tires.
And all that momentum is now gone. Ricky is in. Escher is in as
X
well.
is off just ahead.
Oh, that's Jetlin. Jetlin's in trouble. Gone too deep at turn 3.
Is that a chance for trouble?
Yeah, that is going to be a good opportunity for trouble. Cuckoo trying to find some space. JD trying not to get involved. Round the outside of turn 5. It's too long to try that one, trouble. Oops, bit of a nudge there from, that would be Cuckoo on the back of trouble. So JD unlapping himself from Cuckoo. Like I say, perfectly entitled to do. As long as it doesn't impede anyone. Oh, that's... Excess has gone too deep into turn 8 in the Lamborghini. Kaiser and Andrew both in the pits.
Andrew in just ahead, but we don't know who will come out ahead, of course. Pit strategies have varied wildly this season. Matt's staying out.
Matt's... Well, again, that could be a... Oh, that's too deep! Cuckoo's gone too deep! Oh, dear. Now, that could be... either Cuckoo making a mistake or that was JD possibly just trying to avoid cars ahead of him. It's getting very scrappy between these 4 cars. Into the pits come 3 of them. Oh! Cuckoo overtaking on the pit lane entry. Strictly speaking, I think that is allowed. I don't think there's any ruling against it as long as you hit the pit lane speed limit at the right time.
I'm gonna have to ask Cuckoo if they're a Vettel fan, because I'm pretty sure he's pulled that off multiple times as well. Good double overtake.
Hey, why not? Absolutely, why not? There's Matt's then on his own up front. Who's going to come out ahead of who when the pit stops are all said and done? There's long pit stops going on. Everybody in the pit lane is yet to move. Just trying to keep an eye on the Oh, someone's getting underway. Oh, Andrew just managed to sneak back ahead of Kaiser. I was going to say that sounds like a dodge that is getting up and running. And out comes Andrew and Kaiser, still line astern. Fennick has gone through into the lead. Matt is now coming into the pits. It's a race. It's a race to the line. Every line all the time. I like that, BGG. I like that entirely. So out of the pit lane come Andrew and Kaiser in the positions they originally were. So if Kaiser was trying to fuel save, it did not give him the position.
Yeah, very interesting to see them actually having identical pit stop times. It's not something we've seen very often this season. So this keeps the battle ongoing. I love to see that we've had too many battles that were interrupted by the pit stops and then just never resumed as they ended up on completely different parts of the track. And as you saw, as soon as they exited the pit lane, Mats entered the pit lane from, the lead lap. So staying in the pits here is essentially putting yourself a whole lap down.
Now the question is, was Matt able to save fuel? We saw that he didn't. It appeared that he didn't quite have the overall pace. Look at this lot still arguing post pit stop for position, but Ricky, who's the Anime Aston, that's for position right there on the inside of Trouble rather. Trouble went a little bit too deep. Exus leads this particular grip. Well, Cuckoo technically does, but Cuckoo's got a second's breathing space between himself and the Falcon Lamborghini. They are chasing Xevious, who's not the Maserati we can see on the road ahead. Gently trying to get the overlap on Trouble. Can't get it done in turn 8.
I'm a bit bummed that we didn't see the run down to turn 1 with that massive gap
lead!
of cars.
Lead!
That
Look at the lead! Whoa. No, Mats couldn't do it! Andrew's got the outside line. Here comes Kaiser, drawing side by side, coming up into turn 3. Is it going to be 11 Aston? That was a great opportunistic move from Kaiser as Mats was coming out of the pits. Whether that was just a draft from Kaiser, whether Andrew was put off, we didn't quite see it. But Kaiser takes over the lead.
Man, with that call to go for the lead there, I thought someone had died in P1, but it was definitely very close. They were very briefly 3 wide, as I think there's something going on in the midfield now. No, it's just Fennec in the pits.
Fennec indeed in the pits, but that group continuing to argue that we were looking at just as Kaiser got the hammer down and got back up into the lead as we look at Ricky right in the midst of this group. There's his teammate in the background, JD. That's all for position. Now, JD was the odd one out when we were looking before, but he's now right in this mix. This is a battle for 7th. 7th down to 13th in this group. The Exus is currently leading.
Yeah, this is definitely a good strategy for getting screen time. I can tell them that. The top 2 currently separated by half a second. I think Matt's potentially putting more pressure on Andrew now.
Gillish. Gillish has gone round on the edge of the turn 5.
It's another mistake by Gillish. It's a shame he's got the pace to be up there with Eddie just outside of the podium positions. Currently down in 13th rather.
Here we go again. Our top 3, and again Matt's not quite in the tyre tracks. Our second place, Andrew's not in the tyre tracks of Kaiser just yet. He was a little bit off the back there, but they are still very much in that hunt, riding on board with Jedlin in 11th. Trouble directly ahead, JD directly behind as they are coming onto the start-finish straight. Good run from Ricky on Cuckoo. Can he get the Anime Aston ahead of the Star Wars Corvette? Oh, wow. He got it done all right.
It's not even a question, though. It's a Corvette around this track.
Oh, in the slipstream of the Lamborghini. Now, can Exus defend for all he's worth? Here comes Kaku, inside line to reclaim 8th position from Ricky. He's going to have, she's going to have the inside line. Oh, was that a big move from Ricky on Exus there? Trouble's gone too deep. It's impossible to keep up with all of them. Goodness me, still side by side. That's Ricky and Kaku still arguing for 8th position. Exus has gone a little bit deep, or has he? Has gone deep. He may get away with that one. Ricky couldn't get the overlap.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a single word in here when we're averaging 1 overtake per second.
Gillish again on the exit of turn 4 this time. He's having a horrible race. Is Gillish. Oh, that's Exus too deep going into turn 8. Had the opportunity there to Cuckoo, but Cuckoo couldn't capitalise.
Ken Jedlin now going to move done on Cuckoo. We know Cuckoo's a good defender, maybe moving a little bit late there on the straight. 3 wide into the next corner.
Oh, Jedlin! Gets the move on Trouble. Well driven from all of them there. Not a single bit of impact there. King-Kodiak, good to see you. Good to see you. It is an amazing race. You're absolutely right. The rest of the season has been as entertaining as this as well.
Hold on. Something's happened to Andrew. He's out of the fight for the lead.
He's had a spin up at turn 3, I would say. He's probably gone too deep. And so that is Kaiser and Matt have run off with this one. Unless they come together, which is highly unlikely. Oh my. They might have an argument between themselves. There could well be no team orders between the Lemon Astons. But Andrew, he'll be kicking himself for that.
Yeah, absolutely. As now Jedlin losing some positions. He's off the track in turn 1.
That same mistake, I think, as Andrew has made. Oh, here comes JD trying to get the move on Trouble.
I do want to quickly say for that lead fight, though, I'm pretty sure there's usually no team orders between Kaiser and Matt, so I think they will duke it out, but they tend to be very friendly with each other out on track, so highly unlikely to see any kind of incident there, and if there will be, it must be very, very late in the race. Ooh.
Bit elbows out there for JD on Trouble. as the Lemon Aston's line astern. Yeah, Matt he's acting as rear gunner there. He's not trying to push the issue. Here comes trouble though. Is JD going to get... Oh, that's very deep there for the for the Dodge there. And that could
Seems to have helped Cuckoo a bit.
It does a little bit, yes. But that's JD up into 10th. Trouble is having some difficulty. Oh, that was close to those tyres.
I don't think we've seen any tire casualties yet on camera, so there's that going for them.
Very true. We haven't seen any detonations as yet, so this group has fragmented a little bit. As Kaku then... Oh, that's JD. He's got the line a bit wrong. Escher is into the pits again from 15th. Oh, now JD cutting back underneath. Trouble. Couldn't quite get it done, and then Jedlin's getting involved. So this group has fragmented slightly, but still just as intense.
But yeah, this could well end up coagulating into a 5-car fight again. The top two, I think, are pulling away from Andrew. I think he's going to be more upset about how boring he's made the second half of this race rather than missing out on the win, because I think the next 15 laps he will have very little to talk about in the post-race interviews.
Could well be.
Oh, deep again.
Trouble has gone too deep at turn 8. I wonder whether his tyres have had it, because he seems to be going very deep in quite a few places. So it could be that he's got very little tyres left in the Dodge. His previous braking points just aren't seeming to work for him.
I do wonder how many people did not pit for fresh tires. Everyone has been in the pits by now because you would have run out of fuel if you haven't. But of course, we have seen people choose to put either fresh tires on or not this season. You never quite know beforehand. And
oh, there it is! And we were riding on board as it happened. You heard Jedlin actually back out of the throttle to try and avoid that. But,
you could see it coming. You could see it coming. And I have to add that to the curse list as well, because it's barely been a lap since we said no one hit those tires.
I would say that's fair. And and because of that, he missed the pit lane entry. He didn't get down low enough to get into the pit lane, so he's going to have to do a whole lap like that. That's going to be an absolute barge to steer. That thing's hard enough to wrestle around this circuit without rearranging it.
Yep. That is incredibly painful. Now, another look from JD. I think Trouble well aware of his presence at this point.
Yes, we're well aware. You can't miss the Anime Aston, even if you try.
Yeah, for more reasons than one. Meanwhile, actually, we'll stay on board for this corner. Trouble aces the braking this time, but will he have a good exit?
He parked that one on the apex. JD had no real traction to try and challenge that. As we look at Bernd now on the back of Gillish, the two Maseratis coming into that same spot. It's been a rough day for Gillish. Oh, that's deep for Bernd. Manages to keep it off the grass, but that's going to cost him in his battle for 13th from Gillish. And
you see, I mean, they've gone through that corner 27 times now, and they're still struggling with it. So that just goes to show how tough that corner is. On board with the leaders again.
Yeah, indeed. The Lemon Astons are very much, well, I mean, they are kind of working together in the sense of Mats is not pushing Kaiser for the win. Oops, I think that was a small mistake from Mats there.
Let's take a quick look at the lap times. Last lap for the Astons here, low 28s. Andrew, a low 29. He's lost a second on the previous lap.
Yeah, I think, not sure whether Andrew hit anything on his mistake at what I suspect was turn 3. It could be what's dropped him off of his ultimate pace, or he's just settling into bring the car home mode, because he's got another 8 seconds or so, 9 seconds or so between himself and Eddie, so the car looks like it's the correct shape. So Andrew may have conceded that he's not going to be able to close in the gap to the top two unless they themselves come together, but he's now very much in no man's land. And the three behind him have split up as well. Eddie, Warlord and Xevious are not challenging each other for position. So,
yeah, I mean, for Andrew, I'm curious if he's maybe just gotten into the fuel saving stage now, because we saw him pushing a lot earlier in clean air, while the Astons behind seem to be fairly content for the most part to stay behind and save fuel. So maybe he's just at that point, or he was actually benefiting from the Astons earlier and potentially holding them up. But A shame we can't quite see their earlier lap times to know for sure, but either way, they are controlling this race now.
That they are. These times in the race are insane. You are absolutely right, VGG. Us mere mortals can only watch and admire as we are riding on board with JD. He was closing in there, but he bled out the throttle coming through turn 2. Oh, that's bullet sand. That's bullet sand in the Falcon Corvette. He's had an issue at turn 16, 17. A very heavy issue with the wall. The wall is always going to win that one, and he's going to limp his way to the pit lane where he may well stay. Gillish is in the pits again in the Maserati.
I mean, it is one of the least bad places to crash, I suppose. You have immediate pit lane access, but yeah, the front end does not get much flatter than that, so very unfortunate for Bullet Sand, but the engine at least has not blown, so lives to fight another 12 laps.
Very true. Riding on board with JD, still chasing the Dodge of Trouble and the Corvette of Cuckoo. They are still engaged in their battle for 9th position. Jedlin is about 10 seconds behind them, so no challenge rearwards. And the next car down the road is one of the Scuderia Maseratis. So that is not for position. That's Condor. That is further down the road. Oh, you heard the Aston just bleed out of the throttle there. It wasn't confident in keeping that one stuck down. And look at the amount of time that's cost JD. You heard him just bleed out of the throttle coming out at turn 17. And that has cost him several car lengths over Trouble, who's continuing to keep the pressure on Cuckoo. Riding on board with Fennec now, as he's behind Baird, bouncing their way through turns 16, 17, 18.
A good exit.
It is for that's Trouble's teammate in the cream-coloured Dodge. He's got the slipstream from the JPS Maserati.
I almost thought he was heading for the wall there.
It did look like he was, was trying to repaint the wall there, but didn't. No impact made there. I will say, on stream, I do feel sorry for Martin. I did warn him at the beginning of the season that he will have to really work to get a word in edgeways.
No, it's all right though. There's definitely worse things to do during a race than having to, well, being subjected to listening to your voice the whole time.
Subjected is definitely the right word for that. This is also why I let Martin do the interview, so he can actually have an opportunity to speak.
Hey.
Cuckoo, Trouble, JD, all in this three-way argument for 9th position. They're trying to close in on Ricky, who is staring at the back of Exus, so that quintet was all together.
Oh, side by side now. This is for P13.
Fennec, he's going to be the outside line, sweeps across the nose of the Maserati. Nicely done. And it's quite a slow corner, so he can get on the gas when he needs to. Fennec up into 13th position. Bernd flirting with the cones. Oh, I thought that was going to be another death there. But Bernd managing just to shave the tyres there and continue along his merry way.
I mean, we've seen on Andrew's car that Dodge seems to be fairly agile around here. You can definitely see Bernd understeering a decent bit more in his Maserati, but look at that straight line speed difference. And
you just heard Ben. He didn't want to go side by side coming into turn 3 there. It's bled out the throttle quite early. Oh, Matt, he's buzzing around the tail of Kaiser. He's flirting with him somewhat. So the thing is, for all we know, they are fighting like mad. But I don't think they will be. I think Matt's, being that there is 34 points difference in Kaiser's favour, I don't think that they will be fighting each other. I don't think Matt is trying to pressure VGG. I'm putting VGG in the race now. I don't think Matt is challenging Kaiser for the lead. Oh, into the pits comes JD. So another pit stop then. So those doing 2 stops, it would be now that the second stop is going to happen.
Yeah, it's. I do think once we see Mats and Kaiser pushing properly, we should. I mean, if they stay as close as they have been, then we should see a lot more overtakes happening. If you take into account the fight that we had between Andrew and Kaiser in the opening stint of this race, before they kind of just settled into their positions. There are only 9 laps left for the leader, so that moment should hopefully be coming soon. I'd imagine that Mats will maybe start pushing in the final 3 or 4 laps. They are fairly safe with a 12-second gap to the car behind, who've just had another retirement as well. Gillish currently in last place, so does that mean we've lost... no, Jedlin's still here. He's in 11th. I think that's Bullet Sand out of the race.
It is indeed. So Bullet Sand deciding to retire the car. That's a shame. It was a retirement, I think, for him at Silverstone. I got him down in 18th, so I know we lost a few at Silverstone. So it's been a tough season for Bullet Sand. Jedlin was in 11th last time around in Silverstone, and he's in 11th again, so is remaining consistent, hovering around the top 10. Trouble, as we're riding on board with, still trying to put the pressure on the Corvette of Kaku, who, considering that was an unfavoured car, Kaku is doing a great job in wrestling the American mark around. Maybe it's a home advantage for the... well, it wouldn't be an unfavoured car if that was the case. Here comes the Dodge then, getting a bit of slipstream off the back of Kaku.
I mean, Kaku has overtaken half the field quite literally as well, so it's been a pretty decent evening, no matter how you square it. Qualifying might not have worked out, but this has been some good racing.
Yeah, absolutely true. Down into turn 3 once again. We haven't ridden on board an awful lot, but I guarantee there's been a lot of wheel soaring. We've lost. We've lost suddenly. We're down to 14.
Oh, is this a mass disconnect with just 8 laps left? I've been kicked out.
I think we've lost Kaiser. We've lost Kaiser. Kaiser amongst others. Oh, trouble! Oh my goodness me. Fennec. Oh, Fennec's in chat saying no. We've lost Fennec as well. Oh no.
Getting back in as soon as possible.
That is tragic. Kaiser denied the win. I don't think it would. Well,
I mean, if they end the race on that lap retroactively, I don't quite think that's how Kaiser would want to win the title either. So no. I'm very confused as to what's actually going to happen here.
Well, I would imagine because we haven't lost a significant percentage of the lobby, it wouldn't be counted as a mass disconnect in that sense. So it would be. It's just an unfortunate. It's essentially
still
like
have 14 drivers.
Yeah, indeed. So we lost 3, I think, 3 or 4 in that particular, in that sudden moment. So that's really, really unlucky. But we still have battles to conclude.
So who all have we lost? Kaiser is out of this race. That brings Eddie into the podium positions. Warlord and Exus are still hanging out just outside of that. Exus now in 6th. Has this... Yeah, this fight's lost Trouble. Trouble's out. Well, no, Trouble... What happened to him? He's down here now. Oh, no, I'm just delusional, apparently. But we have lost Fennec.
Yeah, Fennec, Gillish and Kaiser. Fennec confirming those are the 3 drivers we lost. Thank you for that, Fennec. Much appreciated there. And we did lose... We lost Bullet Sand earlier on. I think that's everybody thus far.
The biggest fight at the moment. It's got to be going on for P6, Ricky versus Exus.
Yeah. So Lamborghini versus Aston, Falcon versus Anime. Let us see then how riding on board then with the Anime Aston, can Exus fend off the advance? Exus goes to the bottom line. Ricky stays with it. He's going to lose out that momentum. And he does indeed. He's going to have to slot back in.
Just quickly checking last week's positions because we had a message in chat saying that Bullet Sand and Jedlin went quite well last week. We had Jedlin in the top 10, but Bullet Sand I think still finished in last week.
Bullet Sand unfortunately retired from last week. Well, Eddie and Bullet Sand, I think Escher as well, retired from last week's race in Silverstone. So yeah, it was a great shame for them. Jedlin was 11th by my notes.
I think there was a moment in that race where Bullet Sand was running in a pretty respectable position, but unfortunately wasn't able to hold it for the entire event, but definitely promising signs at the very least.
Condor back in the pits once again. So pretty much cementing himself in the wooden spoon spot. He's going again still. Trouble is still on the back of Kaku. Those teeth must be kind of gnawing into Kaku's soul by this stage. And they've been staring at Kaku for a while.
So welcome, Bullet Sen. Thank you for letting us know that it wasn't a technical issue.
Had the wrong pit strategy last week. Oh no. Oh, that'll do it. Yes, hope someone stays the replay. Well, I tried to save the replay. That's what I have running in the background when I do the when we're doing the interviews is the actual race replay. So I will certainly hang on to that.
Now will Trouble try and send it into T1? It's been a while since we've seen a good onboard here. Wow, he's lifting off very early.
Yeah, he did really back out of that. He's Trouble trying to fuel save. Oh, that's Kaku's gone too deep into turn 3. Can Kaku get the cut? Can Trouble get the cut? Try that whole sentence again. Can Trouble get the cut back on Kaku? No, is the answer to that question.
Now, if I was Trouble, I would be pretty dang frustrated coming out of turn 1 because, well, obviously Kaku completely missing the apex. If Trouble had been pushing there, that would have been his position.
Yeah, very, very true. Unless Trouble is trying to fuel or tyre save at this stage. Bear in mind, we saw Trouble having difficulty getting that car slowed down. Eddie is in the pits, and that's going to
5 laps to go.
Yeah, that's probably fuel. If we've got other people trying to fuel save, that would make sense that some people doing a splash and dash. That puts Warlord up into the top 3. This would be a fantastic. We've seen Warlord finish 5th twice. Has been his best finish of the season thus far. He'd love a podium at this stage.
That would be his very first MSR podium. It may be his 6th race, well, 6th official race this season, but it is still his rookie season, so that is definitely something to celebrate if he can hold on for 4 more laps.
Yeah, we didn't see Warlord in Hockenheim, but he's finished inside the top 10 in every round he's partaked. So that's a very, very strong statement for a rookie season.
Let's see what Trouble does this time. Kaku once again sending it to... That's basically the mistake that I always make in that corner, is I go a little too deep into 1, and that really compromises your exit out of 3. And Trouble's having looked to the inside, but again, just not committing to anything here, despite Kaku sending it too deep.
Yeah, he's trying to force the mistake on Kaku, trying to get that Corvette to go too deep, but has lost out again. Kaku's driving brilliantly well in this race. The battle for what is now 7th place between the pair of them. I think Trouble might just be a little bit too reluctant to kind of bounce on the car. That's deep again for the Corvette. I think people are running out of tyres at this stage. They just don't have the confidence to get the car either slowed down or turned in. Here comes Trouble. Great bit of slipstream on the exit turn 10. Can he get the inside for 11? He's backed out of it again. So
that is absolutely puzzling.
Oh!
Oh, well, I mean, if he's going to risk damage by staying behind at this point, I think he really should go for the overtake. But what confuses me is that despite Kaku in that hairpin kind of having a rough entry, the exit speed was around about the same. Then Kaku just kind of slowed down a little bit in the middle of the straight. I doubt that that's because of how slow the car is. I was almost kind of thinking that Trouble was being let through there, but then Trouble lifted off as well. So maybe they're both trying to save fuel.
It's possible, as Axis is coming into the pits again with only 4 laps to go.
Hopefully he has his brakes on.
Yeah. As the Falcon Lambo gets going again. Running back on board with Trouble. Still trying to press the advantage on Kaku. This would be Trouble's best finish. If the race finished now, it would be his 2nd top 10 finish of the season. He finished 9th in the opening round at Yukari Pagua, but has not.
Someone's lapping Exus here. That is our race leader, Mats, still in this race, unlike his unfortunate championship-leading teammate.
There'll be a few unsavory words going on in that team, I would imagine, as Kaiser had that one sewn up. But that's the nature of the beast. That's why you never give in. And that's Trouble committing to the inside line. Now he's committing to the move, but he's going to be forced to the outside line of 12. Can he get the momentum through the twiddly bits? Still side by side with the Corvette. He gives necessary racing room, and bit of door banging between the two.
Where are these cars? I can't get a good visual on them.
Oh, Trouble tried. Basically, Trouble tried to make the overtake at the most technical part of the circuit, and it hasn't paid off for him. Over the line to go. 3 laps remain.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can see why he's pushing now. He's really running out of time to get any sort of move done, so it's now or never.
He's trying to get the momentum. The Corvette stayed to the low line, and Trouble gets the inside. He's going to have the inside line for turn 3. Can he get the car slowed down? Yes, he does. That 6th position finally wrestled from Kaku's hands. But can Kaku respond as they are catching the back of... Well, one of them is Ricky in there. I can't see who the other back marker is. That I think it might be Condor. I can't tell from this distance. No, it's definitely not Condor then.
Condor's definitely enjoying a bit of a view of his own, though. That's P12 just ahead. JD on a different lap. Who's that ahead of JD? That is Xavius, currently in 4th. So all 3 of these cars on a different lap.
Different lap to each other. That's the crazy nature of the race. This race is yellow there, but not sure who that will be for. As
Xavius might have had a spin or something. You never quite know with this game.
No, true enough. Strange place to have a yellow flag as well. Kaku has fallen back. Look at that. There's a couple of car lengths now between Kaku and Trouble. So it doesn't look like the Corvette has an answer to the green Dodge as they are coming to start their penultimate lap of this race.
Now we have seen cars run out of fuel and come to a halt right before the line. We've seen cars run out of fuel and roll over the line. All of that is still very much possible, so if Trouble's miscalculated anything in that car, then Kaku still has a chance for P6, but straight line speed alone is definitely not going to do it for Kaku.
Oh, Kaku is laying off the gas way before the braking zone of turn 3. There's some serious fuel saving going on in that Corvette at the moment, so we will see if she's able to make it to the end. JD is still chasing Jetlin, but that's not Jetlin directly ahead. That is Xavius, as you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely not letting Xavius rest on his P4 laurels. He may be a lap or 2 ahead, I'm not quite sure, but he's definitely not pulling away from JD at the very least. No,
indeed. But, Condor's right behind them. Like you said earlier, all 3 of these cars on different laps to each other. JD is allowed to unlap himself as long as he does not impede the car he's unlapping himself from. We've got a yellow flag, but no one stationary in it. So, no idea. Someone's probably just gone a little bit too deep there. I would imagine it's people getting out of other people's way. Good to see you.
That should be a blue flag, not a yellow flag.
Well, yes. Good to see you, Galax. Thank you very much for your company. Good, sir. Very glad to have your company for the stream as we jump to Condor, who has been ironically has been promoted to the wooden spoon spot. Oh no, too deep into turn 5. If there wasn't an Aston in his way, he would have been fine there, but sadly there was, so that just pushed him into a bit of a spin.
See, now, if he was playing Mario Kart, that would have initiated a drift and he would have gotten a mini turbo on the corner exit, but unfortunately this is AMS2 and that is not the case.
No, indeed. Oh, we've missed our race leader coming across. So your winner here in Fontana is Matt in the lemon Aston Martin. His third win of the season, 2 on the bounce now for Matt. Andrew is going to come home in 2nd place, his first podium of the season. Warlord is going to claim 3rd place. Brilliant stuff. His first podium finish of the season. Xavius.
Well done to him.
Indeed. Xavius. Again, his best finish previous to tonight was 9th, and through some... I mean, he was in a good position before we lost a few of our drivers, in fairness. Oh, is that a coasting Dodge?
Oh, no, he's over the line. Across the line,
Yeah.
So is still 4th position. Ricky only a couple seconds ahead of Trouble. You can see him there in the distance. Kaku's way off, though. This is a massive gap.
Yeah, Kaku is running on fumes at this stage, as we're not having anybody else that's running out of fuel just yet. So Ricky 5th, Trouble in 6th. Kaku is going to be over the line in 7th place. There she is, chased home by Eddie in 8th position. Eddie was the last car to cross the line. So Eddie was in 8th position, Bernd in 9th, Exus 10th, Jed in 11th, Gnome, JD in 12th, Escher 13th, and Condor was our last finishing car. We lost in the course of the race. Kaiser from the lead, Fennec, Gillish, Bullisan, and Mammoth.
Don't forget to save the replay as well. I'm very sad that Keza is not here at the end of it because I would have looked forward to see his fastest lap. He was 4/10 faster than anyone else in qualifying. That is a crazy feat in this league because of how many aliens we have. Keza typically not being the fastest of them, so it's usually about consistency with him, but he was pretty much dominating tonight, so that is a win that he very much deserved. That won't be going to him.
Sadly so, but keep an eye on the Discord. Let's see who, if anybody, is going to make themselves available. They don't have to, but it is always nice to have a chat to our drivers post-event. We will see if anybody does make themselves available.
Trumbull saying that he was channeling his inner Ferrari with the Lyco tonight.
Fair point, well made. Well, whilst we do have a couple of drivers that have come forward.
Bring in our P2 finisher.
Excellent.
Welcome, Andrew. Now, that was a very boring second half of the race for you, but I think you enjoyed that first half.
Yeah, that was really good fun.
Tell us about it.
I mean, I don't know what's more to say than you would have seen most of it. It's just...
Oh, yeah, we did.
really...
Okay, so I do have some...
I will say it's tactical. It's like...
Yeah, so at first it was back and forth, and then at one point, all of a sudden, it was just, all right, guys, we're tired now. We're just going to sit here for the rest of this first stint and pretend to be fighting, but we're actually just going to save some fuel, maybe lift the ghost a tiny bit, and continue on into the pits.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mats was playing the long game on both of us there. He got the extra lap in, so he had more than enough in the tank in the second stint. I think he would have done Kaiser if he hadn't been disconnected.
Oh wow, that would have. It's a shame we didn't get to see that in the end. But tell us what happened, because you were with them even after the pit stops, but then all of a sudden, an 8-second gap. We didn't quite catch what happened there.
I locked up in the bell end.
Onto
the grass.
I thought it was I thought it was turn 3 off the banking, so I got the right diagnosis, wrong place.
I mean, I am surprised you only lost 8 seconds doing that, because a typical spin will cost you 6 to 8 seconds. Going off in that part of the track tends to cost you way more.
Well, I managed to keep it in the correct direction, which obviously is good. Just about almost span on the grass when I was trying to get it turned around. But... Yeah,
I mean, do you almost regret having that good of a recovery back onto the track? Because if you had a worse recovery, you might have actually had to fight for that position and had an interesting second half of that race.
Nah, fuck. I'll take my P2.
Yeah, I mean, that's a P2 finish is definitely nothing to scoff at. Where did all that pace come from? You were quite rapid in practice as well.
I just spec'd the car for like mega top speed, which seemed to work well. No wing whatsoever on front or rear, and I actually boosted the tyre pressures up quite a bit as well.
And did that help with temps or wear or what exactly?
Just speed, I think. I was really, really fast onto the banking.
Hold on, I just have some minor technical issues here. Yeah, so it was definitely a good performance. Were you a little bit disappointed when Keza stopped sending it halfway through the first stint?
No, we'd had our fun. I was happy to settle in at that point.
Fair enough. Now, I think this does mean that the championship continues into the final round. With the horrible luck that Keza had tonight, who do you have for the title? Do you think he's going to be able to bring it home, or is it going to his rival?
He just needs to. I still back Keza because this will be his drop round. obviously. So as long as he doesn't have a nightmare in the final round, like another disconnect, he should still win.
Well, fortunately, we only have had 3 commentators' curses tonight, so I think it's unlikely that what you just said would be powerful enough for another curse for the season finale. But I'm gonna have to thank you very much for coming on, Andrew. We have a couple more interviews to go through, and wish you best of luck for that finale. Hopefully, no more unsafe rejoins or unsafe leaving of the track, and yeah, enjoy that P2.
On the contrary, you want to see more of them.
All right, next in will be Warlord. Do we have? Wait, actually, real quick, do we have the race results posted yet? Yes, we do. Nice.
All right.
All right. Warlord, our third podium finisher, but second interviewee of the night. Welcome, Warlord, and congratulations on your very first MSR podium.
Thank you. I don't think I should have been with the disconnects because Kaiser was ahead of me, but I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of stuff happens in racing. You have people with mechanical DNFs IRL. This time it was a mechanical DNF in the virtual sense, which, of course, they can't really do anything about except for maybe move to a different country. So,
yeah.
Quite unfortunate, but you were there when it mattered, and you picked up P3. Tell us how you managed to beat Exevius to it.
I think I was just fast in the straight, and I think that's what kept me alive. Had to save less fuel, and every time he tried to come closer in the straight, I was able to pull away again.
Yeah, seems like a bit of a common theme, people making straight line rockets for this race. Did you compromise any handling in Sector 2 for that, maybe?
Yes, definitely. I was losing a lot of pace to the cars that were slower in the straight, but clearly faster in the infield.
Wait, so you were losing time? Wouldn't they be pulling away from you?
The car behind me was catching up. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that would make you have to be a bit more cautious and on the defensive. That definitely makes sense. Now,
yeah.
Your first podium. Of course, it's not quite the way you imagined getting it. How many times have you come close to it this season?
I think the best before was P5, so clearly not close enough. And something needs to happen to some very fast guys for me to get on the podium.
That is not a threat. That is just an observation. But yeah, it's definitely still been a good performance on your part. Did you put in any more practice than usual for tonight?
I think it's about the same, but over the course of the season, I do get a better understanding of the car and get it tuned better, for especially when it's low downforce like here. So I prioritize that to make sure I can get a good fuel number and keep a good lap time.
Yeah. First podium in your first season. Will it be a first victory in your second season and a first championship in your third?
Yes.
I love that confident answer. I mean, just to maybe get a bit of a pointer as to how we can get to that point, which cars and tracks would you like to see in a future league?
Oh, I didn't think about that. A track I always love to see as Bathurst, so I really hope that one comes up.
Oh, that would be great to commentate on. That's a good chance for a big pileup as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I really enjoy driving that track. Car, and it can be the slowest car, can be the fastest car. I think every car has the good strengths and to have fun with.
I think I mean I've actually had a race at Bathurst before with very slow cars. It's much more exciting than you might expect because you can actually kind of go for overtakes that are not lethal on the mountain section as well.
Yeah,
so
that sounds fun.
I mean, I do hope that we get to that point at some point in MSR where we actually get a proper league with slow cars, but we need the signups, guys. We have a lot of people who just love the fastest cars in the game, and then they scoff at the slower ones. So hopefully we can get a bit of a change in mindset there, but definitely looking forward to your future performances in MSR. You've definitely reached a milestone tonight, and I can only congratulate you for it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and I do hope to drive some slower cars at some point. People that don't want to are just plainly wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we do have some slower cars on our casual Tuesdays. Those are open for anyone to join if you are listening and have the game. So feel welcome to join those. I mean, you can even sign up for a reserve position in the Monday League as well, but there is only one round left, so you might be better off waiting for the next season, of course, if you actually want to score some points. With that, I think that's the end of our podium interviews for tonight. So thank you very much for coming on, Warlord.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Have a good one. All right, next up in the list is Trouble in P6. I definitely didn't expect him to be there after all that fighting.
I imagine neither did he.
Trouble, welcome. That is quite a respectable finish. You had a very busy evening.
Yeah, very busy fuel saving.
Yeah, you did mention that in the comments. Can you elaborate on that at all? At what point did you start fuel saving?
I probably started fuel saving on like the 5th lap.
Oh,
I originally, listening to AMS2's in-game thing, it said I had 17 laps on a fuel tank, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a 2-stop. And then when I actually looked at after a few laps, I was like, okay, I've only just gone over 5 liters a lap. This is going to actually be doable as a 1-stop, so I really started fuel saving.
yeah, I mean, we did end up seeing some people on a 2-stop either through damage or a lack of fuel. Do you think there's ever going to be an MSR race where there's so much fuel spent and the fuel tank is so small that we need a 3-stop?
Probably not. The reason being that, if I remember correctly, we're on 2 times fuel usage on this. I think. I think that's like the last season. And the thing with that is, if we were to have a car that uses that much fuel, we'd turn it back down to 1 times fuel because you'd already get enough to have strategy in the race.
Uh-huh.
So I suspect that we wouldn't have that unless it's like an endurance race.
Yeah, that'd definitely be interesting to see, especially if the pit stops don't split up the pack too much. Because I mean, in an endurance race, people will end up finding their own little islands of performance to race in. Your relative in the chat just posted that we don't have to bring him in for an interview because he, and I quote, "I MC what Andrew is looking at." What do you have to say about that?
Do better English, mate. I don't know. Please read the message before you send it. What do you mean?
Well, aside from the lingual laughs, I do have to ask a slightly more tinfoil-hatted question, or maybe a controversial question, but you two are racing from the same house, are you not?
Yeah, we're racing from the same room.
How on earth is it that only one of you got victimized in the Great Disconnect?
I don't know, but it didn't seem to be entirely related to that. Like to the general Wi-Fi issues. Bear in mind it was completely like miles apart people who disconnected at the same time.
Yeah, I mean it seems to be like a Steam kind of thing, but I just found it highly mysterious how you managed to stay in, and the person on the same internet as you did not.
Yeah,
I think you secretly just I think you just quickly unplugged and plugged this computer back in.
My arms are not long enough for that.
Allegations pending proof there. Trouble, tell us a bit more about your fights tonight, because you were, I mean, as I said, busy for practically the whole race.
Yes, so at the start, well, I sort of got boxed in a bit, so fell a few positions, but then discovered the reason that I picked the Viper again, that being great straight line speed, and because I knew that I was fairly similar pace, it was fairly easy to just get a good exit, overtake someone in a straight line, and then sit in front of them, and they couldn't do anything to overtake me. They only started having a chance to overtake me once I started fuel saving, so...
Yeah, I mean, we caught quite a bit of your battle with Cuckoo as well. It was clear that in the last few laps you were pushing, but before that it seemed like there were a couple of opportunities that you just kind of refused to take. Were you still saving fuel there, or were you purposely staying behind?
There were some of them where I was saving fuel, and then a few of the ones towards the end I was sort of trying to force Cuckoo into a mistake because I wanted to try and get past without losing too much time. In some cases that didn't entirely work, and I think we did end up losing a fair bit of time, but that wasn't the aim. Was sort of for just pressure into a mistake, because the thing was that I wasn't 100% sure how much going flat out would use in fuel, So I sort of over fuel saved a little bit. But I was thinking if I were to pressure her into a mistake so she was further behind, then I'd have enough wiggle room to sort of, if I needed a bit extra fuel saving, I could just do it without having to worry about being re-overtaken.
Uh-huh.
Which, in the end, turned out not to be a problem because I'd done more than enough, and Cuckoo was fuel saving, and actually Ricky ahead was fuel saving. I think if I'd gone for a move a lap or two earlier, I might have just about had enough fuel and potentially been able to fight for that 5th position.
Now,
I had not realised at the time how much Ricky was losing to fuel saving, so I just didn't know to go for it.
yeah, I mean, my fellow voice in the box here thought, I think about 5 laps after the pit stops, that your tires may well be shot. Did you pit for fresh tires or not?
I did. Yeah, no, as I mentioned in the chat, what that was me lifting and coasting, and I just lifted and coasted a little bit less, I think, than I had previously, and I just hadn't anticipated the bit extra speed that I had. So I made multiple mistakes going deep just because I hadn't quite lifted and coasted the same amount as I had previous laps, and then hadn't necessarily anticipated the different amount of speed, and so just messed up a little bit, went a little bit deep, a little bit short, and yeah, that happened repeatedly.
Yeah, and oh, I swear I had another question for you. Hold on. Yeah. Wait, no, it's gone again. Oh, it's like a racing battle in my head. It's the overtake's there and then it's not. No. Oh, as you can see, Bullet's in there in one of his unfortunate off-track moments in the background. Trouble. You know, I think I had a genuinely good question for you, and then I just started thinking about the old bean questions again, so I'm going to have to ask you one of those instead. Trouble, what track would you say is the most bean-shaped that you've ever driven on?
Daytona, probably.
What?
Like the
ovals don't count, okay? It has to be an actual racetrack.
Okay. Then... Well, what sort of bean are we talking? If we include like are we saying it has to be a baked bean?
I mean, I guess a green bean would count too if you've driven Jetta
I was
before.
gonna say if it was a green bean, I was gonna say either something like Monaco, maybe, because it's quite spindly and has bits
Well,
of
very bendy bean, that one.
walls. Yeah, or I was going to say something like Spielberg because it sort of just curves round.
Londrina.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, if we were saying just baked bean, it would have to be Brands Hatch Indy Circuit.
VGG saying Monza's an organic bent green bean. Actually, all that talk of beans has actually it's energized my brain to the point where I remember the question that I forgot, and that is Trouble.
Okay, thank you.
That's all the Lyco and stuff. How much do you think that helped your tires to stay fresh?
It probably helped a little bit. It probably only offset my lockups that I made because of messing up the brakes when lifting and coasting. So it probably evened out, but it only evened out because of skill issues.
So you were still very much pushing on corner exits for the most part then, or?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean that does definitely answer some questions that we had, but I think that's pretty much it for my bean and non-bean related questions for you, Trouble. So thank you very much for coming on. And next up will be the final interview for the final driver that was, well, in qualifying. I guess that's one way of putting it. Cuckoo up next.
I will just say before going, there was one time where I believe Kodiak got quite surprised at how close I got to the tyres on the last corner. Yeah, if something like that keeps happening, I may have to stop watching your stream because it happened because I wasn't paying enough attention to what I was doing. And then looked at the stream and was like, oh, I got close to that wall. I hadn't realised in game how close I got.
I'm still getting over the bean questions. You know, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, unless you have any non-bean related questions, Kodiak.
No. Questions you only expect to see in MSR.
And only from Martin, generally.
I mean, I think Nismo's asked at least a bean question or two in throughout the years.
I think he has, but you're always the one to bring it up. So.
Well, thank you very much, Trouble, and I hope you enjoy a good can of beans to celebrate your finish.
I won't. See ya.
See you next time. All right, next up is Cuckoo, the final interviewee for the night.
One more. Ooh.
Welcome, Cuckoo. You overtook more than half the field.
Woo.
In the,
Considering I qualified dead last, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, if he overtook more than half the field while starting P1, I would be very surprised.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what happened in qualifying, to be honest. I was just slow.
I mean, you were again in the Corvette, which seemed to be very bad around here.
It wasn't great, I can't lie. It was definitely better in race trim than qualifying, though.
So the Lyco wasn't too bad?
It was still fairly bad. I lost out to trouble at the end because of it, but it's not too bad. Not as
Yeah,
bad
what was
as it has
the-
been in any case.
Quickly checking the final gap that we had there, you ended up about 7 seconds behind, so that's maybe about a 2-second time loss per lap after he overtook you. So that was definitely running on fumes for the final bit there. Were you fuel saving for most of that race?
Most of it, yeah.
And how much do you think that hampered your defending? Because it still seemed to be fairly solid to me.
Yeah, I managed to strike the right balance for most of it. It was a few instances towards the end of stints where I had to get more aggressive on it, and then that sort of set me up to be killed because the Corvette just had nothing when it got to the banking.
Yeah, it was pretty sad to see in some of the fights. You were a sitting duck there, but I will say I was expecting it to be a bit more one-sided. I didn't expect you to overtake half the field, that's for sure. So it's definitely a result to think somewhat fondly of. How many people do you think did you overtake on track?
I think to be honest, most of the overtaking that I got on the track was people spinning out, I think. So I definitely got past, I think, like maybe at least 6 people that way.
What was it? Mostly people going off at the pointy bit.
It was kind of all over, really. It was mostly the infield section. A few people went too deep into turn 1, got through there, but it wasn't too bad. So I had most of my gains from that, and people needing to pit an extra time. I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 actual overtakes done on the track. I don't know if you caught it. When I was coming in for my pit stop, I overtook...
Yes, we did catch that. I was going to ask you if you're a Vettel fan.
The pit entry. I was like, oh, they're going really slow. Goodbye.
yeah, you
Was
were
that
you were front and center for that one, Cuckoo.
Yeah, was that inspired by Vettel, or was that completely of your own thinking?
That was of my own thing. I mean, it's a wide pit lane, so I was like, well, I know I can brake later for it, so bye-bye.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't quite sure. I forget who it was that was directly in front of me. I weren't sure why they were just sat behind them. I was like, just go round him. So that was quite satisfying, and then obviously I left the pits in front of both of them, so that was extremely satisfying.
Yeah, it was definitely an overtake to write home about. Not something you see every every race, let alone every season, or maybe the other way around. But we do have another suggestion here from VJGG. Would you be happy if champagne in race celebrations was replaced by beans on toast?
I mean, I would pair the champagne with the beans on toast, personally.
Ooh, we do have a beans enjoyer in the chat. All right.
I am a beans enjoyer, I can confirm.
Now, actually, just to quickly test that, when's the last time you had a good bean?
Probably about 2 weeks ago, I think. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, I was
They're
about
like
to
my
say.
go-to reserve thing if I've got nothing else to eat. My beans.
See, this is another
Always-
reason why the bean
always
question
have to
stays
keep a
relevant.
can in reserve.
See, as a Brit, I'm very much into my beans.
Well, when's the last time you had yours, Kodiak?
This very evening,
Ooh, see,
was
we have the
gonna
biggest
say-
bean enjoyer right here.
I have Branston beans.
Have you had those before, Cuckoo?
No, I'm a Heinz enjoyer, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Ooh, rival bean clans, okay.
Going for the quality. Well, I think brands that are probably made by Heinz, but yeah, quality beans. Nothing wrong with that.
Now, have you done any practice for the final race, Cuckoo? Because obviously this one was, I mean, at least for podium aspirations, a bit of a write-off. Have you already practiced a bit for the last chance this season?
I have not. To be honest, I didn't even do any practice for this one until the official one opened, so... Yeah, it's... There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, and it's all a bit shit at the moment, so... yeah. We'll see what I manage to do. But I think the only other time I've run Kailami was quite good. I think I was fighting K's for P3 in the Super V8s last time we drove it, so... I quite like the track, so...
Yeah, it's definitely one of the tougher tracks on the calendar. Very, very difficult to overtake at as well. So I'm looking forward to see how much the tires are going to be making people potentially experience a few brown flag moments. But I think that's pretty much it for my questions for tonight. So thank you very much for coming on, Cuckoo, and I wish you best of luck for that season finale in 1 week's time.
Thank you. Hopefully it'll be a good result.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And I mean, on the one hand, we haven't had a big pile-up this season yet, so if there's one dramatic time for it to happen, it would have to be the season finale. But of course, no safety car is the legally preferable method of finishing the season. We haven't had any tonight, so it seems like the safety cars have somewhat calmed down this season so far. We still had 3 commentators' curses tonight, but let's not talk about those too much.
Yeah, I tried my best to get a safety car at Road Atlanta, but I unfortunately made my efforts too late, so...
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Indeed. Ta-ta.
And that is going to be it for tonight's festivities. Thank you very much to those that have been with us, either live or post-event. Your presence is always welcome. Thank you very much, Martin, for being in charge of the cameras and also for dealing with the interviews. Always a pleasure, good sir, and only one more race to go.
Yeah, it's been an exciting season. I hope we get a worthy finish to it, because the title fight is not over yet.
Indeed not. So we head to Kailami next time around for our grand finale. Same place, same time. We hope to see you there. And also thank you very much to our drivers for putting on a fantastic show, top to bottom. We hope to see you next time for what is going to be an amazing season finale. Until next time, thank you very much and good night.
Good night, everyone.